All right, it's 12:01. We can start. So this is the koha-US web dev sig for it's February. February. How's everybody? Good. Yeah. Um, so this is the sig we talk about breaking stuff and doing cool things with Koha. Has anybody broken stuff or done cool stuff with Koha lately?
Have some broken stuff,
We can
or
talk about that too.
it's not necessarily broken. It's my customizations are broken. It's not Koha itself. I don't want to blame Koha.
Did you early adopt, Barbara?
Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
This is
Welcome.
my first time with this special interest group. So what do you all discuss?
So we mostly talk about customization in Koha, how to do stuff with jQuery and CSS and HTML. And then I think we also talk about notices sometimes, template
Okay,
toolkit, just that sort of stuff mostly.
okay.
I have some stuff, but I don't know if they're broken. I'm trying to figure out how to get it set up.
Mm-hmm.
So you know about the new, I think it's new. It's not new, but it's new. The patron custom message notification.
Yeah, I saw that and I don't know what it does. What does it do? Like,
So when you're in the patrons account, you can select message and it'll send an email straight from the patrons account.
oh,
And so what I have it doing right now, there's a special item type. We have hotspots that is very popular and some people abuse it a little bit. So we've been sending like final warnings and block messages just to let them know because of the history. They're gonna get like it's gonna be blocking them for a certain amount of time kind of thing. Thing is, I have already got the email part set up, but I'm working with MessageBee now to get the phone and the SMS parts set up. So I'm working on the YAML or the YML blob just to see what is needed to trigger the message on the MessageBee side, because everything's set up on the MessageBee side and on Koha. I just need the YAML, the YML, whatever, to send them the information, because there is nothing yet in the gosh, I forgot what where we get all the MessageBee YML blobs. GitHub. They don't have like one for custom messages right now. And I talked to Bywater and they said that there are two options possibly, and it should work the way that I want it to. But I would be the first one testing it, basically. So I feel like there is logic behind the what I'm trying to set up. But trying to like tell MessageBee what I need to set it up and like trying to send them the patron information so that they can send them the messages directly to them. That's the part that I'm working on right now. It's not working yet, but I'm optimistic. I'm hoping to add this to the GitHub when I'm not gonna say if, when it works. There's the
to be positive.
yeah. But yeah, it's looking good so far, but that's what I'm working on. And I feel like I'm doing a like, I don't know what it is with 2025, but there's like a lot of things I'm testing for the first time. So I'm trying to set up like pickup locations for outreach fans too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm working with like library groups and library groups and the transfer limits, just to make sure that some libraries don't for example, some of our pickup locations are at schools, and we don't want like general public to go pick up their materials at that location. So either try and find jQuery to like suppress the location from general public who is not like, that's not their home branch, but, or make it like non-selectable for everybody but the people who belong to that outreach location. So that's,
It sounds doable.
yeah, it sounds doable. I just need to be careful about how I link things, I feel like. Just, I'm talking a lot with John. Oh goodness, I forget which library he's from now, but John, head of SIG.
Oh, he's at Click, the Colorado
Oh,
consortium.
yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, and he's helping me with that because he has his he's using this he has something set up for his like outreach, and it sounds really cool, especially since he like they service like prisons too, so there's like, it's kind of like that situation. And we have something for juvenile hall that we want to do the same thing that they're doing. But again, it's just a lot of like paying attention to what gets checked and jQuery from Bywater and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see where you land with that, because we have a library that is looking into buying a bookmobile later this year, and she wants to set it up as sort of a branch of her library, and we don't have anything like that going yet. So new frontier for us.
Yeah, no, it's very, I bet when it's finished, I'll be like, oh my God, I did that. But also it's just, it's like, it's kind of fun how you like you set it up. I think we might have to pull like Aspen into this, because we have Aspen as our OPAC, to make the location, the outreach location, not visible there. I don't know if that's possible to turn it off for just select libraries. So there, John is talking to his the person who is like in charge of their OPAC, if anything. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting projects coming up. If
Cool.
anybody has like any insights on the notifications and outreach van pickup locations, that would be awesome as well.
So just out of curiosity, how do you trigger these custom messages? Like, is it a thing in the, is it a cron, or is it?
So I have it set up right now, and if you want, I could share my screen just to show you what I have.
Sure.
So right now I have it. Oh, this is in slips. Okay. So right now, this is just, that's in there and everything. So what I'm going to do is put the YAML in here, but to trigger the message, what I would do is go to a patron, for example. Nope. So I would add the message and email the, we enabled this, and then email address as a patron. Then I put in the customized notice, and it'll auto-populate. And as soon as I save it, it'll send the email to the patron with using the email address as the primary email address already in the patron's account. And that's working fine. That's been working very well. We've had successful, we've received a bunch of what the test we all did, like it sent well and it was received well. Or like it was all like you can see everything is what I'm saying. I should return this.
Yeah, I remember them adding that, but I just never did anything with it, so I couldn't remember how it worked. That's something I should probably make sure my people know is available so that they can use it.
Yeah, we were worried that staff were going to use it for to send them messages that way, but because we already have like our notifications set up automatically, we didn't want them to go in and like send additional messages.
Right.
So right now we have circulation staff not doing anything and only coordinating librarians triggering these messages and able to keep track of what needs to come off, because there's a process in place. Because we're blocking the patron, what we've done is we've set in a cron job to block the patron. We created a new patron category called adult limit, where they'll be in that category for 1 year. Like it'll expire in 1 year and then it'll update to adult again. And the adult limit blocks you from the item type hotspot so that you cannot check it out or put it on hold. So that's how we're like kind of controlling it. But because it's still, because it hasn't, so for example, like person will be in adult limit for like 6 months. Like they can't borrow the hotspot within 6 months. So we haven't reached the point where it's automatically updated to adult again. And we've been having issues with our patron categories not updating, our cron job not updating the patron category. So every once in a while, we'll just have to go in and check. So this is like our first year trying this out. Hopefully it all works out in the end, basically.
It sounds like a sound plan.
Yeah.
We don't have a custom notice set up for that one yet, but we have used it mostly just for sort of one-off kinds of things to communicate to the patron, as opposed to having to send it from our own email address, and then you're their librarian that they contact from, forever, because they have email address now. Well, we have a custom third overdue notice. And usually with every upgrade, it seems like something happens. With this upgrade, it's now printing, it's kind of like label creep, so it's printing, instead of having, sometimes the notice is maybe one page and another little bit of the second page because they have so many things. So instead of, stopping that and then starting the next patron on a new page, they're just, it's just a continuous thing. And so it gets the formatting off for everybody, because now the, address block is moved down the page and it contains other people's information and all that. So I'm not exactly sure what I need to fix in there, but I know that we have, go to it. I know it's got a lot of CSS in it, and there's a thing about page size, and I have an open ticket, but nothing's happened with it quite yet. Find my notice. This is only a print notice. We don't send this except by print. Let's see if I can, where did share screen go? Is it under more?
Should be in the middle-ish. It's a green button now.
No, it's a green, it's a big green button. So do you see my notice?
Yeah, I can see the different styles there.
So I'm thinking It might be, because I've got here media print,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking maybe that's what I need to adjust. And is VH like view height or something?
Yeah. On mine, I use like actual, since it's just for print, I use actual like inches and inches. Because I know that the page is always going to be 8.5 by 11. I was trying to find my template for overdue printing to see if I could, except I don't know exactly where that's. Yeah, so I've got it set where the width is 8.5 inches, the max width is 8.5 inches, minimum height is 11 inches, which makes sure that it's always a page, full page. I'm
And
not sure if that'll work with what you're doing, but it might.
and do you put it as actual, do you put like height 11 and do you spell out inches, or is it IN, or how does that usually?
It's 11 IN with no
11
space.
IN.
Yeah.
Okay.
And generally you don't when you're dealing with CSS want to deal in inches, but
Okay.
when it's printing stuff, it makes sense sort of.
Because the other things, let's see if I've got anything else on here. I've got padding. The margins are to get the address block in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
This is spacing between elements. Okay, well, I'll try that. And from having gone through this before, it's always been make a change, wait for the cron to run overnight, see what you get, print it, and see if anything has changed. Is that still the method that you have to
So
use?
what there's one you can hijack. What is it? I mean,
I've done
you could do it like Charlie's message, like do a custom message and send it to yourself, and that may be able to be enough to test it.
okay.
But there was also like maybe I was just using one of the slips templates to put this sort of stuff in and test it. But you can also use the report templates like I showed off last year, um, where you're feeding it data via a report, and then it runs it through your template toolkit that you put in here. But
I'll
I
try.
think like reality wise, because you're sending it to yourself as an email and then printing it out from there, right? And you need it to.
Yeah. Yeah, because the cron Bywater sends a file. Well, the thing is it runs through the gather print PL thing, and it's kind of like, it seems like testing, because Lucas has given me things where I can test it on the screen to look at things, but that's not really reality because it runs through that gather print PL and that changes things.
Yeah, so I'd try it as a custom message like we were talking about earlier, just to see if that's sort of comparable. I know
Yeah.
that the gather thing has always been a mess for me too, like, and it confuses people, which is why I put in the whole template thing where they can click a button and print from there.
Yeah, I'll have
So
to go back and look at your presentation for that one. But yeah, I think I'll try the custom is, I think it's something I can do without too much trouble and see what happens. Okay. Since I have my screen up, this is our OPAC, we're Koha. And we had a custom style that is the box shadow that you see here. And so we were not using the table striping. All of our rows were white, and I cannot seem to override the gray table striping because it's a bootstrap thing, and everything I have tried just will not work. If I highlight certain elements, like whatever this part is called, and behind the cover image and behind the check thing, I can sort of simulate it, but it's not great. But if I try to choose, you know, the whole row, it's like that bootstrap table striping. It's just kind of like, you can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, but I want to. And I'm just not sure how to get past it. I was going to ask Lucas if he was here.
I wonder if you can just, so if you inspect that and then go to the table element, like click on table row or the TR above where you're highlighted right now, or down just a little, sorry. So you've got table, then down is T-body,
There,
and then
like,
yeah.
find it.
Scroll down in that a little. So see where it's got like dot table and that striped background rule you're just highlighting.
Yeah,
Have you
it's
have
kind
you
of that. And if I change that,
mhm.
white, I get it. So I can do it here, but everything I've tried as far as putting in the CSS to change it, it just doesn't work.
So okay. Look at it.
CSS will have to be the language that I learn next time to after SQL, because that looks intimidating, honestly.
It's not. It's like CSS was the first thing I learned, like way before jQuery, and it looks intimidating, but really it's just understanding the rules and stuff. Like you're defining a rule for the table class. So it's hot table, and then I was gonna try and put that in my test server and see what
You know,
happens.
color black, background color white, font weight 700. So once you start learning kind of those basic things, it's fairly easy. There's a lot of things I still can't figure out with it, like this, but I think it's fairly easy to pick up.
Okay, so
We'll do that one next.
this looks like it worked when I put it in my OPAC user CSS.
Oh, that
It
was one
gives
of our last attempts there.
it gives an error, but it's because of that weird dash dash that the bootstrap is giving. So it still works.
Take
I
this
could
one out so that I'm not. I think it worked. You know what? I think maybe I even tried something like that, but it threw me because I'm like, well, I'm getting that red error thing. And so I'm like, well, obviously that's wrong. You know,
yeah, I ran
yay,
into that. Yeah,
thank you, thank you.
sure. I don't remember what I changed. I was changing some rule earlier. Something in my footer or something, and I ran into that same error. It's like the double dash throws
Yeah.
isn't supported in the linting or whatever they're using to produce those errors.
Well, it's good to know that it will run even with that big angry red X there. Another question which I can't necessarily demonstrate and it's hard to solve is we use this box shadow around each one and it
Mhm.
looks great everywhere except it won't render on an iPad. And I had that fixed from a previous version. I'd have to go and find where it is, but I had something that said, you know, force it on an iPad and it actually worked. But it's not working now. And I just didn't know if there's any tricks or things to know about display on an iPad specifically for CSS type things. I've got like, trying to think what it is. The box shadow to results page. So I've got this, not just box shadow, but I've got that WebKit dash box shadow, and that may have been what solved it last time around.
Yeah, I Googled, it says to add this. Try adding that to your rule and see.
To do what?
Dash webkit dash appearance. I put it in the chat.
Oh, okay.
That's just from a random Stack Overflow. So like adding that line might help. It might break things. Who knows?
See, I'm doing this on my live server.
No pressure.
Good
That's-
there.
Still looks okay there, yeah.
I have a question about this maybe cataloging, but I'm not for sure. The material type, the little
Mhm.
icon that shows,
Sure.
Right here.
yes. For some of our items, I see it says text, like in the results, the little icon doesn't show properly, but when I click on the result to actually look at the entire record, it has the little book. But within the results page, it
So it's
doesn't show a little book.
Does it say text?
Yes, it says text,
And it does not show any kind of icon?
not on the results page, but then when I click on one of the records to see the actual record, I
So
see
here-
a little book, but the material type says text.
I know as far as what it says, we had to work with Bywater to have it changed to book. And that's
Okay.
so long ago, it's hard for me to remember, but we're a public library and it's like, I'm not going to tell my public text. That just does not make sense.
Right.
You know, so we changed it to book, but I don't remember what they had to do. And I know the icon always displayed. So we were just changing the wording.
Okay.
Do you have custom XSLT, Janice? Do you have like a custom style sheet for the search results page?
I have not created one.
Okay, that's so the display there is controlled by the XSLT. So
Okay.
if there's something in your XSLT system preferences that may be affecting it, the actual icon is generated in the mark record. I think it's from the leader, like depending on the sequence of characters in the leader, that's what
I
determines.
think it is. Well,
Yeah.
let me, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So
But what
what
I
I
was
would,
going to say, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'll let you go.
Well, what I was going to say is we're an archival library. So we have microfilm, we have microfiche, we have manuscripts, we have newspapers. So I would like it to display the correct little icon. But it may be me and my OCD.
I don't think so. I think it should play the correct thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
If your cataloging says it should be that way, it should generate that way.
okay,
So I would check. So the system preferences on that, if it's the OPAC specifically, is this one OPACXSLT results display. So if
okay,
that's not set to default, that could be affecting it. Otherwise, there may be something broken deeper down somewhere, which might just take a ticket.
Oh, one thing I can add is that we used to be on custom style sheets. And then Lucas kind of convinced me we really need to try and get away from those and make these changes in other ways.
okay,
So I know that I'm on the default now. But it's still, they did whatever they did something not in the XSLT, I guess, because we are using the default now.
okay, okay. It doesn't look like we're custom. I see default in OPACXSLT detail display. I see default in list
Okay.
display. I see default in results display.
So yeah, if those images are broken, there must be something else going on there. That
Okay.
was just first place I would check.
Okay. All right. I'll start there, and then if I have to submit a ticket, I'll do that.
Yeah.
My next question is, have you all gotten your date for upgrade to 2411?
Yeah, they posted ours today in the news.
Oh, okay.
So we're set for March 5th.
Okay.
And I think on their upgrade hub thing, they said that it was all gonna happen that week. So I would guess that the week of March 3rd was upgrade week for non-early adopters.
I don't have a notice yet, so I'll give it a little more time.
Yeah, and that just popped up when I logged in this morning. So
Okay.
they may be doing it like if yours is tomorrow, they put it up tomorrow. I don't know what their strategy is really.
Okay.
But if you don't see one by the end of the week, I would definitely ask because
Reach out. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Is this an email that they send out to you guys? No, it's on.
it's just a news item on the homepage of the staff client. That's the only communication I ever get, other than the email later on that says it's like a root upgrade email to the admin address after the fact.
And I'm wanting him to upgrade us to the 241102 because with the 01, which is what we are for an early adopter, the cover images only display on the first page in the results on the OPAC, and so the rest of them don't display. Plus, we use synthetics for our covers, and there was an issue with synthetics on the results display. So Lucas and I worked on that one, and that's all passed and everything, but it's not supposed to come out until 02. And I'm like, when is that gonna be?
Soon, hopefully.
I'm OCD about my cover images for the public.
Yeah, I ran into that too. I put the bug on the spreadsheet where we're keeping track of stuff. That's the cover image not showing until only on the first page bug.
Have any of you, do any of you have Lida as your app by any chance? No? We just signed a contract with them and I'm trying to figure out communications, like how long it takes. So it's just, I'm trying to find people who have Lida so that I can find out, because we're having the branded Lida set up for us. So it'll have, like, when we download the app, it'll say SLO Library, for example, and then it'll have our logo or our mascot, which is like a quail, which is really cute. His name is Quincy. But trying to find out how that looks for other libraries, and I guess I'm putting out feelers.
I'm pretty sure McKinney uses it, McKinney, Texas. McKinney, Texas.
Yeah, I think SEKLS uses it. I don't know if George has done anything with it yet because they moved to Aspen recently. So
We used
But
to be
we-
with my Libro.
yeah,
This is very new.
we haven't ever had an app. I get asked about it every once in a while. But I've been waiting, like that's one of my things with Aspen is like if they can get Lita to do push notifications, like account push notifications like from Koha in the app, that's something that might push us further into thinking about buying it. And every time I've asked, they said that they're working on it. But I don't think it's there yet.
So Lita is, as far as I know, it's free if you have Aspen already.
Right.
And we're only paying the $1,000 because we want the branded Lita. But yeah, no, we're hoping we'll get a better experience than My Libro. We liked My Libro for a long time, but I'm not sure what's going on. We've been having like these tickets that have been kind of reoccurring, and every time we bring them up again, they kind of say the same thing, and it takes like a while for them to fix it again. And so we just decided it's probably a good idea just to move on. And Lita is cheaper. That was a big selling point.
But that only works with Aspen, right? It doesn't work with regular Koha OPAC. That's what I thought. Yeah,
That's how I understand it anyways.
we're still on the regular, me and Jason.
We
Yeah.
are too. We don't use Aspen. I have a question concerning your patrons and library cards. Do you all use library cards?
Yep.
What kind of library cards do you use?
Plastic.
The plastic with the keychain bit attached
Okay.
to it.
So you all accept cash when they like if for fines and stuff and do credit cards? Or do
We
you all just,
we're fine free now.
Yeah,
oh, okay. What about if somebody is in the library and they want to make a copy of something? Do you all have that?
it's all, I think most of our materials are all, like most of our fines, most of the things that patrons need to pay for is online. I don't know if they have cash, and we're not really advertising this. If they have cash and they need to print something really quick, we just give it to them. Like, we don't charge them.
Okay. Okay.
Most of my libraries are still handling cash as the primary payment. We do have like a statewide credit card processor thing that they can use if they want to pay by card.
Okay. Okay.
But we don't use the
Oh, I'm
POS.
sorry. Say it
Oh.
again.
Sorry, we don't use the POS in Koha. That's the only thing. We have like a third-party vendor who takes care of that for us.
And we do use the POS. We did a presentation, Mary and I from our library did a presentation at the last conference, which should be up on the koha-US site if that's something you're interested in looking at.
Okay. You said it's on the Koha site?
It's on the koha-US site for last
Okay.
year's conference, and then it has all the presentations, and it was on the first day in the afternoon.
Okay. Well, the reason I asked the question is we currently have, we have, because of being an archival library, we have, Supreme Court cases, we have, photographs, people, be getting copies, want a copy, and we charge for those things. And so instead of us trying to handle cash, we have, our library card has a swipe on it where you can load money. It's like a debit card. And so now the company that we're going through is called ITC Systems. And our equipment's at end of life. and we are trying to upgrade or go to something else. But they are the only company that does what we do, as they say. And so I was just trying to put some feelers out there to see if anybody else was kind of doing it like that.
Yeah, we're way lower tech than that. I
Okay.
know my university library in my undergrad did that, where like your student ID would load with money, and then you could take it to the library and swipe it to make copies.
Okay.
But I have no idea what they use for that.
Okay.
Well,
And then with us being state government, if we do payment processor, we have to do that payment processor fee with a state. We have a state agency that handles that, and so we have to connect through that. And so we are trying very hard not to have to go to the credit card if we can't. But I was just trying to get some ideas, and because if we have to switch, that's gonna be a lot of work.
I don't know, don't know who they are, but I'm pretty sure companies still exist where it's not necessarily your credit, your library card that you've got the credit on, but there's like a separate card that you can fill, like your patron can fill with, money, and then use it as a debit toward what they want to, if they need to print or fax or whatever it is you're charging for.
Okay.
And I don't know who does that anymore, but I mean, I know I've heard of it.
Okay. I'll look into it. Thank you.
So I guess I can talk about what I've been breaking lately. Uh, I found something broken on my test server, and I thought it would be a fun activity to try and fix it live during a SIG. I can share my screen.
Wait, you're on the 2405, right?
Just on my, we're on 24/5 on production, but on our test server, we're 24/11.
Oh,
So it's one of those bootstrap things. So I added this little extra link here that lets you print the card number, which my libraries really like because they can shoot it out quick on a receipt and the patron can use it to log into libkey or whatever. But that link is obviously kind of ugly because it doesn't use the right classes. There's a better way to do this. So instead of using jQuery, you can actually just make a template. So that's what I was going to show. So if I go to notes and templates, make a new custom slip, and then I think it's going to be print. So we're going to card number, and then just, well, tipsy owl. That should get me started. So I got it all library. So if I refresh, now I have print card number. It's not as pretty yet, but it looks right in that drop down list. So
that is so cool.
it is, yeah. And you can do all sorts of things, like anything template toolkitty here.
How did you get it to go to the drop down?
It's when you pick custom slip, patron custom slip.
That's I love that.
So just to show you the other one, and maybe I can steal some styles from it. Okay, so this is how I was doing it before. So adding it to the toolbar with jQuery, and then I had to create a function to pop up the print window. But this is my styles, and they're inline. If I do this,
Someone recently asked me if I could turn on the patron card creator, like
Uh,
just yesterday. So if I do this instead,
not bad.
that might actually be better.
Yeah, we don't use a patron card creator. I'm having a hate relationship with my card vendor lately though. So maybe I need to look into that too. I'd really like to get my own printer and like produce them in-house, but that's a whole nother expense,
Well,
like high quality.
the talk around here is moving to just digital cards.
Yeah,
And then for the people that are just like, no, I can't do that, won't do that, then actually print something. We haven't gotten there yet, but
well, and they added so to the OPAC, I turned that on to play with um the virtual card here, which isn't going to work in most of my libraries because they don't have 2D scanners. They still have the single line scanner, but that's something we could move towards too, is encouraging patrons
yeah.
to use their phone instead of using a card. So we're gonna have a
And
big
we-
long talk about patron
Yeah.
cards at my next users group.
And we've got that turned on, and I thought recently I might want to beef that up by adding our logo and make it look more card-like, not
Mm,
just the barcode, but actually make it look kind of like a real library card.
yeah, that was my first thought when I saw it too. It's kind of a awkward barcode on
Kinda
the
like-
screen right now.
Yeah, yeah.
And there are some bugs around it. Like I found that the CSS wasn't loading. I think they got that one signed off, but also they've talked about moving it up further in the list of links and that sort of thing.
Okay.
So more to come on
Yeah,
that,
when
think.
I enabled it, I'm like, where is it? I couldn't, because I had Lucas's old jQuery thing and it displayed at the very top, which I thought was kind of nice.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to realize, oh, there it is, all the way down at the bottom.
Sorry, which one did you use for the notices and slips? Is it already in 2405 or is it coming in the 2411?
You should have it in 2405. I think that was because I think they did an every other Thursday video on it.
Oh,
It
okay.
is patrons, a parentheses custom slip under new notice. I see it in my live server too.
Patron. And then parentheses. And we're not talking about patron custom message. We're talking about
Yeah, I can show it again here. Three. So this is my production server. It's right there.
Oh, okay.
oh, I have to create it.
Yeah, you have to make a
Oh.
new one.
Thank you.
And you can make as many as you want. So like you could make a whole bunch of different stuff in that list if you really wanted to get cluttered with it.
So
But yeah.
smart. I love it so much. Thank you.
Um,
I think I might actually use this like right now. That's really cool. I'm really
Good.
excited.
The other thing, since I'm sharing, I've been working on is this whole let's turn curbside pickup into a delivery module project. So you can see I'm logged into the OPAC. I've got it relabeled here to deliveries. Add a little extra wording here for there's only one library doing it, so I just customize it out for them. This is still clunky and I don't like it, and I haven't figured out how to make it work the way I want, because I want it to just set the date for the patron to the next delivery date. But there's like a flat picker here and it's disagreed with me every step of the way. So right now they have to pick that. And then they also have to click that, which I don't like. But then they can schedule delivery. It only works if there's waiting holds. So there is a waiting hold here. And I put this little notice up here because it ties into that box. So if it says there's a waiting hold, then it gives you the button to take you over there.
Is this like messaging between librarians or for patrons?
So
Like-
this is the patron side of things. So like the plan is, I haven't launched it yet, but the plan is whenever the whole notification gets sent, so the whole comes in, it triggers the notice. That message is gonna say, if you'd like to schedule a delivery, log into the OPAC or contact the library, and then they can come here. So the patron can come here and say, I want it delivered today, and schedule the delivery. And then it goes into their deliveries, which this is all just the curbside pickup module. It's just
Oh.
really everything's relabeled. So like, yeah. So then on the circulation side, on the staff side, it's curbside pickups here because I'm not logged in as that branch. Which the person. So now it's delivery management because that's what they're using it for. And then I broke it this morning, so let's see if so I broke it on my production server because I was getting ready to like put this into live and test it. So that's enabled there. And now all I get is a 500 error when I go to this page, the curbside pickup configuration page, on my live saver. So that's cool. So it's turned on. Should be working. I wonder if it's because I switched libraries within the page. Yeah. Okay. So this is what the staff see. So after a staff member or a patron has scheduled the delivery, then it goes into to be staged. So they would, the staff would then see that. They should be checking that when they're ready to start loading stuff up. So they would mark it staged and ready after they pulled it off the waiting hold shelf and moved it to the delivery area or whatever. Then it's staged and ready, and as they're putting them on the delivery van or as they're delivering it, however they decide they want to do it, they mark it as delivered. That moves it over to delivered today and also just checks the item out to the patron directly. So that's where I'm at with it. It's still kind of clunky, but we're gonna once Bywater fixes my broken curbside pickup module on the production server, we're gonna put that custom code in and test it out a little bit. I guess I should show the code too. It's not that extensive because it is just relabeling a bunch of stuff. So I guess it's right there. So for the OPAC JavaScript, I'm making sure that it's only visible to patrons at that library. This is the one that's saying, does that table contain waiting? If so, add that little alert. This is making the background hot pink so that I know that I'm logged in as the right person. That's not for permanence. And then this is just changing wording. So curbside pickup to delivery, curbside deliveries on the links in various places, pickups to delivery, schedule, pickup, delivery. Yeah, that's mostly what all of this is. And then like this is the little bulleted list I appended, relabeling other stuff there. And then again, I hid some buttons. So on this page, the curbside pickup, the way it's supposed to work is the patron pulls it up on their phone when they're outside, and then there's a button here that says, hey, I'm waiting outside. So that then the staff know to take it outside to them. So I just hid those options there. And then on the staff side of things, I took away that tab altogether. So there should be a tab that says patron is outside. And I took that away because that's not part of the workflow. Uh, and then this is where I was getting into, I want to set that date by default, and I need to consider, is it Monday, is it before noon, is it afternoon? And I got it all logicked out, but I couldn't get the flat picker to actually do what I wanted to, so that's not working yet. And then in the staff client, that JavaScript is probably somewhere in there. Yeah. So again, it's just a bunch of relabeling. So again, only for that library, change labeling to delivery, blah blah blah. Hide that tab I talked about. Yeah, that's the gist of it. Of how to bend koha to your will and use it for things it's not supposed to be used for.
Is that gonna be your presentation this year?
I was trying to avoid presentation.
Me too.
Oh no, you do great presentations, both of you. I enjoyed this last year's list of presentations. They were all really nice. I mean, like I learned a lot.
Yeah, I don't know, we'll see. I am avoiding putting one in for, so like I'm still up in the air on both conferences. Like I think I may be able to go to New Zealand and Providence, but
You're
I don't
able
know.
to go to New Zealand.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, unless I was gonna put in a presentation about baby devs, and I told her I'd like co-present with her maybe if hers gets accepted, but I don't want to put in anything like solo just in case I can't. It turns out I can't go.
I have another meeting. You all show some really cool stuff, but we don't, we circulate, but we don't circulate out, they don't take it outside the building.
Yeah.
And so some really nice stuff.
Well,
But
thanks for
thank
coming.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and come by again, just if you have any other things you want to discuss about, like, man, tell us how the POS went.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
Will do.
for sure.
Thank you.
bye. Thank you. I actually have the Aspen catalogers group in like a couple minutes, so this is bye here.
Yep. I think we can wrap it up. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you
Bye.
next month.